Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Metroid Prime! In the last episode, we gathered various of our power-ups, the Morph Ball bombs, and the Charge Beam from around the Chosen Ruins. This episode, we're going to be gathering our remaining few power-ups that we lost on the Orpheon, as well as taking on, well, basically trying to find out the source of all this nasty poison that's around the entire kind of ruins area. So first off, we're going to head into this little place, the Arboretum, and I just needed to check actually which direction I was going. There's a lot of stuff going on in the Gathering Hall, and it's not always... Oh yeah, it's this ridiculously claustrophobic corridor with all the gas shooting out of it. I do love the condensation that causes on the mask. So, there's actually a new scan in here, but we can't get it immediately. What we need to do is... This is... If you remember at the end of last episode, in the Watery Hall, we had to scan 4 runic symbols to open a door. This room is about the same thing. There are 4 runic symbols hidden through it. That is the first. Now, the rest of the ones, this used to screw me over no end as a kid, because down here if we scan, analysis suggests the presence of a runic symbol here, and it confused me no end as to how to get to it. That stuff is like tangleweed. If you shoot near it, it goes down to the point where you can then, while it's exposed, scan the runic symbol. And there are another 2 to get. That's actually a scan there. It's a new enemy we haven't encountered yet, but you can't actually scan it there. If you try and scan the enemy, it just says, analysis suggests the presence of a runic symbol there. Oh, fuck you, War Wasps, you can't get me if I'm in a tunnel. But yeah, this was one of many kind of sticking points here. I always used to miss this one out here that's just right next to you. I'm getting rammed by a War Wasp, I can tell it. Ah, there we go, called it. Where have you gone, you little fucker? There's a nest. The fuck, I'll destroy the nest. I've got 25 missiles for a reason. Like, the advantage of getting... Aha, here we go. This is... Venomweed, a poisonous plant that retracts into the ground if threatened. Venomweed has evolved to thrive in the habitats of large organisms. They lure prey with brightly colored leaves, then detain it with tiny barbs to deliver a powerful toxin. Venomweeds rapidly decompose anything that succumbs in their midst. So they're like Tangleweed, except they actually do damage to you. And as you can see, this one is right in the middle of our Morph Ball track. So what we need to do is shoot so it goes down, and then quickly roll through the space where it was. Worst case scenario, though, we'll take a bit of damage. We've got 2 energy tanks, so we're fine. And so we've scanned 3 runic symbols, and I believe the final one is just up here at the top. There's the door we actually need to open. And the final one... Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, it is there. Let's actually just hop here so we can get a bit of a better view at it. There we go. Scan the final runic symbol. This runic symbol has been activated. And proceed... Well, just a sweeping shot of the whole place. But yeah, I always used to struggle finding those things. But what I was going to say about missiles is... The advantage of doing what I do and gathering missiles whenever you can means that you're never that afraid of using missiles. Otherwise, if they're a limited resource, it becomes slightly problematic because you're like, I don't want to use a missile here, I might need one for a door later on. But when you've got like several hundred, then it just doesn't really matter. And as I say, they do have another use later on. Anyway, there's more Venomweed here. As you can see, if you walk into it, it does start to damage you extremely slowly. But I mean, like, it also slows your movement down. So this is just a corridor full of general nasties, isn't it? And now we're in the, I believe it's called something like the Sun Tower Access. No, Sunchamber Access, I think this room is. I will show you exactly what it's called on the map because... Yeah, it's the Sunchamber Access, because we're heading into this place. I pointed this out when we first got the map for this area, saying, man, doesn't that look awfully interesting? And indeed, let's go in. First boss on Talon Overworld. This is the Flaahgra. It moves around quite a lot, so it can actually be a bugger to scan, but there we go. Flaahgra. This mutant plant is the source of the toxic water in the ruins. Flaahgra's growth cycle has been radically accelerated. As a result, it requires near constant exposure to solar energy to remain active. This exposure has made Flaahgra's outer shell thick and durable. Its lower root system is unprotected and vulnerable. However, exploit this flaw where possible. Concentrated weapons fire can daze it for short periods. Also, crucial thing, because obviously Flaahgra itself is of course a one-time only scan, but this here as well. Flaahgra's tentacle, also a unique scan. Make sure you scan both. One of Flaahgra's tentacles fills this narrow drainage channel. Analysis indicates that Flaahgra's central nervous system is located at this base of this structure. So, how do we fight it? The answer is, this mirror here is reflecting sunlight onto it. Target this bit on the back, shoot it a couple of times, and the mirror deactivates. Without the constant sunlight exposure it's getting, Flaahgra then falls to the ground and retracts its tentacles. And we just roll in, and bomb. Now this time 2 mirrors have activated, and the slot that we used there has been deactivated. You can kind of see how this is going to progress. Flaahgra, I think, for a first kind of proper boss battle, because I'm not counting the Parasite Queen, because that was a bit of a kind of slightly cheeky boss. Like, it was a more tutorial boss, but this is more of a proper kind of boss. As you can see there, you can kind of stun it by shooting at it, and then if you keep locked onto it, you can kind of hop around the side to get a clear kind of shot at these mirrors. Yeah, I really like Flaahgra as a boss. I think design-wise, it looks seriously cool, and a lot of people think it's quite odd, but I really like the music on it. It's kind of minimalist, but kind of builds up. It's not a kind of da-da-da-da boss music. It's just quite It's quite badass and just kind of slowly builds up to this and then kind of cools down again as you're kind of like damaging the boss. I think it's really cool. But as you can see, what he did there was reactivated the mirror, and he does that quite readily. He kind of, if you've deactivated a mirror, it's been too long before you deactivate the next one, he'll just slap it back into position. And that should be him stunned. When he's stunned, obviously, it's the same process last time. Make sure you're near one of his tentacles, because, ow, there we go, retracts in, and then we bob. I don't know what I'm calling him, but he is a massive plant beast. It's probably an it. I don't know, I don't like to, maybe it's, I hope it's asexually reproducing. I don't like the idea of there being a female or there being multiple of these anywhere around the planet. You spotting a plan yet? Spotting a pattern yet? One of very few Nintendo bosses that doesn't require 3 or 5 hits to defeat. Instead, it's actually 4. Oh, missiles can also be a friend when it kind of comes to stunning Flaahgra, but as you can see, we've actually done half its damage there. Oh, okay, he's made these kind of plant pathways appear, which can be annoying. Charge Beam is good for kind of getting him stunned as well. I really like this bit of music. But like, you see what I mean about it being minimalist music? Especially this bit here where it's just like, duh. It's very low pace. Like, as a whole, this boss battle is quite an interesting one because it is really slow paced. But not necessarily a bad way, but very much in contrast to most of the rest of the game, which is very much kind of like you're doing a lot of running and stuff like that. Like, the combat in this game is generally very fast paced. You'll defeat enemies quickly or they'll kill you, basically. But Flaahgra is a bit more of a drawn out one, which is what makes it interesting for a boss. Because, of course, one of the crucial things, at least for me, game design-wise... Oh, can't go through there. That's poison. Game design-wise, one of the things a boss has really got to do for me is be different to normal enemies. No one likes really... Well, I guess some people do. And in certain ways it can be good. But you don't really want a boss battle that's literally just a normal enemy, but a bit bigger. It's got to have some kind of, like, thing to it that makes it unique and different. And Flaahgra does that, but it's in a slightly different way of actually it lowers the pace compared to, like, normal stuff. Oh, he's going to flip one of them back. Oh, let's get this one flipped quickly. There we go. Oh, it's over there, Oh, shit, he's going to fall on me. Oh, fuck! Ow! We should just be able to make our way around this corpse anyway. And, well, not corpse, stunned body. And boosh! Boom! Boosh twice there. How embarrassing for me. Worth noting as well at this point, that has actually cleansed the water in Chozo Ruins. Everywhere that now had poisoned water does not anymore, and that has actually made some changes. But anyway, here's an item here, one of the final ones we lost on the Orpheon. There we go, now we look proper again. Varia suit acquired. Yeah, the power suit just looks bloody weird to me. Dangerous areas of heat are now accessible. Now we know what the difference between the Varia suit and the power suit is. That we now can, we can enter areas of heat, so that's kind of what it does. But yeah, I've got the shoulder pads and it looks spikier. The power suit just always looks weird and kind of too smooth. I find it really odd. I guess this is just to prove to you now, yeah, the water is definitely detoxified. You can just move around in it, and it looks really cool. It's definitely worth noting, like, I talk about how good this game looks. Obviously, now, objectively, it doesn't look fantastic. I will freely admit that. It still holds up fairly well, I think, but, oh, are these new things that we haven't... These are! This is Ultra Energy, which regenerates an entire 100 units. That's worth noting. But yes, I think this is a really kind of... What you have to consider is that before this is a GameCube launch game. Oh, let's scan this thing quickly. This is a Pulse Bombu, a life form of raw energy. Periodically releases explosive segments from its body. Pulse Bombus are energy beings, invulnerable to most known weapons. Electrical energy can harm them, however. They lack any intelligence beyond a basic instinctive attraction to other charge energy sources. Pulse Bombus provide energy constantly. All excess energy is shared, regardless of who or what may be nearby. And indeed, you can't damage them, but if you use the charge beam, they do move towards you. So you can kind of use this to pull them out of your way slightly. But yeah, consider this is a GameCube launch game, so this is immediately following the N64. And compare this in quality of, like, graphical quality to any N64 game, and it comes out well, because this, compared to the bloody N64, looks fantastic, because what the N64 has is everything looks polygonal and, like, blocky, whereas nothing on the GameCube at all, like, even, like, Mario Sunshine and stuff like that, nothing really looks that blocky on it, and that was, I guess, a big thing that the GameCube could do. Going to destroy all these War Wasp hive, because... Fuck War Wasps, am I right? Right, there's actually a little cheeky bit of Chozo lore here as well. Well, there's these things. Remember these for later, because these cordite wall hangings appear to be slightly cracked. Cordite. Nothing we can do about that for now, but later on, maybe. Let's scan the Chozo lore. Chozo script translated. The cries of this dying land echo in our ears as we Chozo watch the great poison seep even further into the living pulse of the planet. The dark energy sinks into the trees and waters, devouring all life. Peaceful beasts die by the thousand. Some creatures survive, but their forms grow as twisted and evil as the force that fell from the sky. Many of these mutated monstrosities remain small enough to do little harm, but others grow enormous and threaten our very existence. One such beast defiles our sacred fountain, disgorging poison from its foul form, and replacing pure flowing water with cascades of creeping death. Even in the face of such horror, we Chozo do not turn in fear. We are all that stands in the way of this great poison, and it is our duty to contain it. Weirdly enough, so that gives a bit of background on Flaahgra and where it came from, but as you can see, these things. Magnetic rail system appears to be active. Spider ball technology required to access this track. We don't have that technology. It kind of seems as if you should kind of get to this from, as if you should get to this Flaahgra this way to get that kind of bit of outside info on it first, but you don't, because that's you actually get on the way out of Flaahgra, which is slightly strange. There's an elevator here, but we're not going to use it. Instead, we're going to come out this way, because now there's actually a few more things. Now we've got the Varia suit and the various power-ups we've got now, so like missiles, bombs, morph ball, all those kind of things. We've actually got some more stuff we can gather around the Chozo ruin. Oh no, damn thing got away. We've got some more stuff we can gather around the Chozo ruins, so I'm going to do that before. Oh, I accidentally pressed 2. Oh, yes, made it on anyway. Yeah, that lift that we were just at does take us to the place... does take us to the place where we want to go, but unfortunately I'm screwing this up, so there we go. But yeah, there's a few things first. This is the kind of the vault access area, and unsurprisingly, the vault access area leads to the vault, which has something of use in it to us that we can only just obtain now. Here we go, here's the vault. And if you've been watching so far, you should be able to recognize what that item in the center is. Either way, this vault is fairly impenetrable, but the way in is out the front here. These things specifically. This appears to be the first of 3 locking mechanisms that seal the gate. The lock is active, but its key slot is sealed by a weak metal grating. The metal grating can be destroyed by a morph bomb, lay a bomb in there, and that's the first lockdown. That was on ground level, fairly straightforward. Second one, we know how to do a morph ball bomb jump, so we just flick the controller and do it there because that's much easier. Hop in, and fire off the second one. But the third one, now, how do we get up there? Now we learn the trick of morph ball bomb double jumping. So, if you lay a bomb, you'll jump up. If you lay a bomb at there, if we were to hit that bomb, we'd do a double jump. But in order to hit that one, we need to jump just as we hit the ground again. So what we do is oh, damn, ballsed it there. Basically, just before we jump off the ground, we need to lay another bomb. So, like a second one, to go 1, 1, 2. And there goes boing, boing, and shoves us up like that. I will be doing that one a fair bit, so if you don't kind of get what I was doing there, I'll explain it. Well, you'll see it again when I next go through it, because there are many points in the game where I have to do that. Nice little trick, though, and some power-ups like this one, stuff like that, are outwardly impossible to obtain without it. I don't think there's anything where you ever actually need to do it in that game. I think it's entirely optional stuff, so that's kind of cool. And then additionally, there's beetles here, but screw them. Also, we have increased attack and defense now just from getting the various suits. We're awesome like that. Come out here, naturally just get an energy tank. That's great. But unfortunately, I'm an idiot and we actually need to go back because I missed a Chozo lore, which I'm pretty sure is in the vault with us. But yeah, that was kind of the main plaza that we're overlooking there, and you'll have seen probably and heard the energy tank from down there. But this is how you get up to it, but you can only get to this area, I'm fairly sure, after beating Flaahgra anyway. Anyway. This is Fountain. The future is a vague thing, ever-changing and always in doubt. Even if we Chozo could gain the ability to foresee the future, it would be a hollow gift. We could never hope to control what is yet to occur. The Fountain is an example of this. A day may come when its water dries up, and there is nothing we could do to stop such a tragedy. But we do know this. Unlike the uncertain flow of water, the power of our will is strong and enduring. The will of the Chozo will never run dry. I really like kind of piecing together what happened to Talon and the Chozo from the bits of lore you get. Like, you get the whole thing about the great poison they talk about falling from the sky, causing everything to go a bit nasty and stuff like that. It's quite cool. I'll kind of, once we've scanned all the Chozo lore, I'll then kind of like put the pieces together just in case anyone's kind of missing any stuff. Anyway, here we actually want to come down this way. Little bit of backtracking to do here, but we get good stuff for doing it. I would normally cut this, but it's really not that far and not really worth it. I just need to get past these ions, and then we're all good. Probably should have cut in retrospect, but hey, here we go, in the ruined nursery. And if you listen carefully, I've meant to point this out in the past, but haven't. I've mentioned there's a sound that upgrades make. And indeed, there is. I'm going to take out that war wasp hive just so it doesn't come to piss me off later. And I think there's another... Oh, no, there's... Oh, there is, yes. Right, I'm going to go over here. Listen carefully. That is the upgrade sound. Any room you can hear that in has something hidden in it, like an energy tank or a missile expansion or a piece of equipment or any of that kind of stuff. And that one is indeed coming from that missile expansion, which is over there. When we first came through here, we didn't even have morph balls, let alone morph ball bombs, so it was impossible for us to make it through here. Actually, before going on with that, we need to do a little bit first, because we need to come up here and bomb this bit, so that metal block falls down. Otherwise, we'd get through it and realise, hey, shit, we can't progress that way. And I, surprisingly enough, don't like making a fool of myself on Let's Plays. It happens a lot anyway, but that doesn't mean I actively encouraging it. I actively encouraging it. Nice words there, Doctor. Doesn't mean I actively encourage it if it can be avoided. There we go. And then after this, we've just got one more quick thing to pick up in the Chozo Ruins, and then we can go off somewhere new and cool that we couldn't get before because, well, I don't think we could even get through to it anyway because of, we had to defeat Flaahgra first, like, to physically get through to the right place. But either way, it's still, we couldn't have got there anyway without the various suits. I don't know what happens if you try and go there without, but you don't really know what I'm talking about here, so I will explain that more when we actually get there. Right, this room now, there's a lot of shriek cats up there. But what we can do now is, there is this little tunnel here. If we hop up through it, missile expansion! Yeah, that was really nice and straightforward. But you just basically need morph ball for it. And again, I don't think we've been here since we've had access to that. Oh no. Yeah, notice water, no longer poisoned. That's awesome. And there are some more places that has now unlocked, but we can't actually do anything in them yet. And these ones are kind of on the way. Because if we come through here again... And then over here, we're heading back to the... Oh, bollocks. We're heading back to the Hive Totem, the place where we fought the Hive Mecha. Because there's actually, if we go through there, there's a shortcut just back to where we just were. To that lift. Because you'll notice there were 3 ways out of the lift room. There was the Sun Tower, which led to Flaahgra. There was the way we went, which led to the vault. And then this is where the energy tank was, after beating the Hive Mecha. Come through this little tunnel here, which we couldn't access last time. And there's a little kind of secret-y bit in here. You can hear the power-up sound, I think. Maybe you can't. No, I don't actually think you can. That's the only problem with knowing about the power-up sound. Sometimes you think you can hear it and you can't. But, yes, do all that successfully, and there's a door. Hey! And this is where we were and where we need to be. So let's scan the lift to activate it. Access to Magmoor Caverns North granted. Please step into the hologram. So as you can probably tell from the name Magmoor Caverns, bit warm down here. I don't know what happens if you come down here without the Varia suit, but I don't think it ends well for you. If we just hop all the way down there, ignore all that, that's just for getting back up. Don't think there's fall damage on this game. Oh, shriek bats, bugger off. And now we start hearing some coolish music as well. This is the fiery kind of dungeon. But through here, behind this missile door, is a save station where we will hold it for today, because we're on pretty much exactly 20 minutes. So yeah, it's been a productive episode. We have got some various things from around Chozo Ruins, as well as destroyed the Flaahgra, the source of all poison in the Chozo Ruins. And next episode, we will be going on and exploring Magmoor Caverns. Thank you very much, and good day.